It's fine.
So at this point, what actions should I take, if any?
Well, you probably are a pretty busy man in the last couple of days of an election, but your jurisdiction is fairly confined. So again, this board needs to have photographs on your cell phone, and you can send them to the registrar's office, text them to the registrar's office, or put them all into an email and send them. And we will add them up, and at our next meeting, we'll figure out what the fine is. And we'll send her a notice that says you need to run around and amend all of your signs. That's what the state board does in these types of
I
situations.
think we do that prior to the election.
Yes, sir.
I think that email should go today.
I
I
agree.
assume we have somewhere her
We're-
email address.
Once you, had her paperwork to become a
Yeah.
candidate, there's a space for phone number and email and
Mhm.
address.
Yes.
And then
I just wanted you to know what the law says should happen, and the board will entertain a motion to send that email today. Would you like to do that, Joe?
I move that she be sent an email telling her that she must put an authorization on her signs. We've got the chair send that
Be
email.
happy to. Thank you, Mr.
Okay.
Appreciate your being here. I know you've got a lot to do.
So
But it's a long way from Scottsville to come up here in the rain, so thank you.
I've driven that road many times.
I'm sure that's
You
true.
also want him to get pictures of
Yes.
each one of them, as many
As many as you can.
Sure will.
And if she doesn't correct the signs, she'll get a fine.
I think the email to her would probably suffice. If she thinks she has to take them down.
She doesn't have to take them down, but she has to
Take
amend.
that, she has to amend them. And maybe she can do that and everything will be okay.
Thank you very much.
Thanks,
Thank you
everybody.
for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Just a question on that. I have been unclear the enforcement mechanism. I don't know, to go reread it again a few times. I don't know that the board can impose a fine on communications issues. I think that has to be the Commonwealth attorney does that.
The state board enforces stand by your ads for any campaign sign that crosses jurisdictional lines. So Virginia Senate, Virginia House of Delegates, and the statewide
And
executive,
the town of Scottsville.
because it crosses judicial. Well, then if any of the signs are in the Fluvanna, then Fluvanna exercises, and I should have mentioned that to him. I'll send him an email if that's the pleasure of the board. He can go to
But ask him for the when he
The
sends the
location.
pictures, the
Yeah.
location. of
Yeah.
them.
And so those that are in the Scottsville town in Fluvanna, it's up to the Fluvanna Electoral Board. I have no knowledge of their board meeting schedule. I don't know.
To be
But-
clear, the enforcement part of this, the collection of fines, that's not on
It's-
our heads.
Yes, it is. It is on our heads because the stand by your ad falls to the locality. If if the signs are for a race controlled by the locality, and Albemarle is the lead jurisdiction in the Scottsville town election, because there are 20 voters in the Fluvanna side of Scottsville. All the rest of them are Albemarle. So Albemarle is designated as the lead locality.
Madam Chair, this is Andrea Ruggie, County Attorney.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you point me to the code section?
I can't write, it's in chapter.
I'm looking at 24.2-955.
That's correct. And it talks about size of,
It says the state board in a public hearing shall determine whether to find a violation of this chapter and to assess a civil penalty.
yes, ma'am. And this gentleman has gone to the Department of Elections. He has spoken with Tammy Alexander, who is the campaign finance director for the Department of Elections, who adjudicates and brings to the State Board of Elections any stand by your ad questions. And she has instructed him and us that it's the county's, the locality's responsibility if it's not a multi-jurisdiction, such as House of Delegates, Virginia State, Senate, or the executive offices. And I'd be happy for you to have a conversation with Tammy Alexander.
Yeah, that would be helpful.
Campaign finance and stand by your ads are nits and grits. So yes, you're absolutely right. We've all read the same section you're quoting.
There's just no reference in that code section.
No, there's not.
Board's doing this, yeah.
No, there's not.
So.
But there's
been some guide.
There has been.
That would be helpful.
I don't have it right now, but I'll be happy to call Tammy and get her to send it to you.
That would be helpful. Thank you.
I'm not going to give it. I'll be happy to send you Tammy Alexander's number. She's at the Department of Elections. Yes, ma'am.
Sure.
Okay, new business. Last minute instructions to the chiefs.
Yes,
I think we've all got questions on this or suggestions on this.
good.
And I was going to ask that Alex produced the old documents, and I'm sure we all have changes we'd like to make to that.
Well, I emailed you all, I think 5, and then Bucky expanded on those, added some, and turned it into the document that we have.
Sent it out as a document included in the meeting materials for this meeting. But this is a starting point.
Yep.
Not a final product.
So would you suggest that I would suggest, if you're in agreement, that we all take your starting document, review it by end of business, make any amendments that we would like to make, and send them back to the board before 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. Any specifics you'd like to discuss, I think we ought to discuss now.
There's one item we should discuss, the DS3.
Is that
no,
on?
I'm sorry. When we were packing the cages,
Okay,
we had the box labels for number 3. Box 3 labels that we attached to the foldable boxes.
Correct.
So in front of the DS300. Included with those box labels was another document, which I have a copy of in my bag if anyone doesn't remember it. But it wasn't a label. It had space for 5 or 6 signatures and some information to be filled in about what was in the box. It is not a document we have historically used for box 3. It simply printed out when Alex printed the box 3 labels. And I'm thinking we should either take them all out of the cages or instruct the chiefs not to use those, but taking them out of cages is probably the cleaner solution there.
Does anybody know how they got? Okay. Alex, you want to?
It's not that, it was
It's
the,
not.
But one has it, one doesn't have it. So 3A has that document when he's talking about, 3 just has a standalone.
But then the other document,
get it out, so we're all talking the same thing. That piece of paper.
I saw this also and had no idea from whence it came. And thought, well, maybe this is a document that elect has sent out. I couldn't find it anywhere.
No.
And I thank you for bringing it. I didn't know where, Alex, do you know where it originated?
It came with 3A.
So when you printed it from the state website, the Forms Warehouse, it automatically printed with the 3A.
Correct.
so this does come from the forms warehouse. It's not something.
It's interesting because 3 is from 9/15.
Yep.
3A is from 9/2020. So 3A is actually the newer.
Correct.
Right, but 3 is what's discussed when it talks about labeling things. I don't really know what 3A ever came from.
And this is a fairly significant box.
Well, what,
We certainly should be using the most
I
current.
should be using the 3A because
That particular form has signature spaces for a handful of officers of election. We will put 3 labels on every box 3 that have the signatures of all of the officers of election working in that polling place.
The key that we need to remember, and it may be that we need to write it in here, is we did not have a section in our training sessions on labels and envelopes.
No,
We have in the past, but
no revision.
somehow it didn't come through this time.
but if this has been the form since 9/22, I can assure you, since
We've not-
9/22, we have
we've
not
not had
used it.
We have not used it.
As Janelle pointed out, that this says the general registrar, assistant registrar, and or officers of election shall sign below in accordance with that code section, which we have never signed because we're not in the precinct to do that. But it does say and or, so
Yes.
it is giving the officers of election the same. But to me, if you use, I would use the 3A because it is the new vision, and then the labels with the signature. So maybe we need to change in the instructions that it's actually put in.
If we
3A.
simply remove that document from what's
We'll
in the
remove that
pages,
document for starters.
what is
I
the
agree.
difference?
then we don't
I
have any
agree.
confusion.
What is the difference between those two you have in your hand,
Well,
other than the
this
thing?
one, yeah, this one does not say. This one says it's the type of voting system that has changed. Because the ABC advantage.
Yep,
Mhm,
Voting.
that's what we used to have.
Right, so this
Way old,
this
way
form
old.
is telling them that. Where this form is just saying the optical scan. So this is addressing your new equipment.
And we still have no idea why they have appended an A to 3, because it's box 3.
But they put an A on it to call attention to the fact that the
That is the
3
new.
is no longer valid. The 3 envelope, that 3 period, should have been deleted
And should say.
from Forms Warehouse because both the State Board of Elections and the General Assembly decertified.
That machine is not.
That machine is no longer in use anywhere and has not been in use
For a long
anywhere.
time.
Yeah,
Or
so
close to 10
this,
years.
this revision is 2020, so this
Yeah.
form should have been used since.
Right.
And it should reflect in your instructions that it is 3A instead of 3.
Correct.
So halfway down in paragraph 3, where it says affix a form 3 to the end of each box of voted ballots, they affix it 3A.
A,
Well, you'll need to correct all of the boxes.
correct,
In the form.
correct, and remove that other
This one should
That
not
should
be,
be
yeah.
gone.
When there's a new form-
shredded
When there's a new form.
Yeah.
The old form becomes obsolete.
and should have been removed from the Department of Elections forms warehouse.
Should. But there's a lot of stuff.
There's a, exactly.
Now, where,
But it says counted paper ballots, counted absentee, but it's giving you the same,
The instructions,
it includes the same thing. It's just this one is saying that you could do it from the AVC Advantage machine and the optical scan.
where is the one that says how many ballots are in the box? Where's that like?
That's in their forms. They have
The
it.
ballot record report.
that's a valid record report. It's on,
I know what you're talking. It's in there.
This one right here, this extra form says number of ballots in container.
Okay.
I know what you're talking about.
That's why
I have
that,
another one though, that
It's
it's
in their
Richard
folders.
Banco actually created.
Yeah, it's in their forms.
That brings me to the question that got into when we were checking the cages. It says how many ballots are in this container. And the issue is if they have 2 containers, we do not want them to sit there and count 600 ballots to say there's 600 ballots in this one. And the issue there really comes to a risk limiting audit, which we will not have. But that risk limiting audit, you have to name every box and how many ballots are in it to send it to the state. And I'm thinking that maybe the best way, even though we don't have to worry about the risk limiting audit, but if, let's say they have, nobody's going to have more than 2 boxes of counted ballots. I don't think.
unless there's something happens to the machine during the day.
exactly, you have to use a separate.
Seal.
But let's say Baker Butler has 2 boxes. My suggestion would be to wrap tape around both of the boxes, making it essentially one container. So that when they say how many ballots are in the container, it's how many ballots are on the public count of the DS 300.
Let's go back to the logistics of doing that, Jim. If you're asking the officers to manage 2 boxes taped together, somebody's gonna drop something. They're heavy,
Get hurt.
they're gonna get hurt. They don't need to be typed together. You just box 1 of 2, box 1 of 3. This is box number 1. You clearly label how many boxes you've got. They don't need to be taped together. And you can do again, we don't know unequivocally that we won't have a risk limiting on it for this election. We don't know that. And the practice is that we must keep the ballots so we know how to mark the ballot, so they know
We
know what's
don't
in the
want-
boxes.
But we don't want them sitting there counting out 500 or 600 ballots.
If you say 1 of 3, 2 of 3, 3 of 3, that says it is one
Unit.
unit. I think that suffices.
There too.
Yeah.
Okay. So the decision from this is we'll amend our documentation here in the last minute instructions to make it clear that it's 3A for all of the boxes, and we should remove from the cages the additional pieces of paper that just serve to confuse the issue.
Yep.
Okay, excellent. That was the one thing I had concern. I will mention one other thing that is on this list.
Before you go, Jim needs for the minutes, is there a number on that?
There's no separate number on this.
There's no identifying.
This doesn't have an elect X, Y, and Z on it.
Think you can notate this, Jim, as envelope A counting ballots. Signature form. And I think it would be It'd be very helpful if we, and I'll be happy to do it, send an email to elect saying, maybe the single 3 envelope should be deleted from Forms Warehouse, and this form should be deleted. Because we're not the only
Should be
ones.
included in all their instructions that go out. I mean, that's since 2020 and they're still.
The other item I added to the instructions was something I noticed while helping Alex get the poll pads set up for LNA. And that is, many of the poll pads have decided, gosh, not all of them, but gosh, I'd like an update to the next version of iOS. Wouldn't you like to click on me? Of course, this won't work in the polling place because they won't be connected to any network, nor even if they were, we wouldn't want clicking on that. So I simply have an instruction to disregard that. Please don't click on it.
Last paragraph.
And that's why, and there's nothing untoward here. They've all been updated to the level of software, the operating system version that the
That
current
was available.
software requires. And we don't want to go to the next level of software until we're ready, till the company tells us they're certified on that version of the operating system. So
Just getting back to the box 3. Are we still calling the box 3, but the label box 3A, or are we changing the name of the box to box 3A?
3A,
Stick with A.
I'd say 3A all the way through.
call it by the same name all the way.
Once the label goes on it, you can tell it's Fox 3A because that's what the label says.
Before, it's just a plain box with no label.
There's
Has no
nothing,
name.
yeah.
We can do that with
So
6.
Alex, you don't see any problem
No.
in
Okay,
making it box 3A, so that will go through all of this.
Yes.
And I'll get them all out of the cages, the stuff that doesn't.
Well, that'd be
We'll help
great.
you. I'll help you.
So any other ideas or changes that you see and you want to send, I'm happy to get those and put it in the final version.
Yeah, I think we all should attend to this today and get something to email and include everybody at this table, the registrars, the election manager, us. So we've got a final document by 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. Is that,
Yeah, I'll distribute the final document to everyone.
and that way it gives Alex time to get it printed. Charlie, or our trusty printer.
Trusty printer, that printer's run.
It's well worth its money. Okay,
An aside on printing,
Yeah.
Alex, am I still your pickup guy for printed poll books and absentee lists?
The absentee list will be done in-house. I gave Debbie that permission to print one last list. I am dropping off the USB cord or whatever we need after we do LNA on Sunday over at the print center. But he said he would hopefully have it ready by 10. I'm not sure.
They're tapping my foot at their desk.
Okay.
Actually, I might give them till 10:30 because I don't need to be here till noon.
I know that you were always a gentleman, but when you're dealing with them, you particularly gentlemanly and scholarly, because we don't want them to be upset that we're there at 10 o'clock asking for something that they're trying. I'm being facetious, like
Support people
trying.
who are vital so often get the stick that
I
offering them
understand.
just a little bit of carrot
Carrot.
is usually
I
appreciated.
understand.
Charlie knows the urgency. He just knows that we also need to get them separated to each of the precincts. So
You're talking still about the absentee applicant?
for emergency,
The emergency poll.
Absentee list, I'm typing in.
Yeah. and then that has to be sorted. That won't be done until like
I
Sunday.
can't print that till after Saturday. Complete.
Right.
person voting.
Somebody, after Debbie and I did a full search to try to find my signature thing, because all those many pages of absentee applicants are all supposed to have secretary's signature on it. I don't know who before somebody would take my stamp and did it.
Did you find it?
We found the stamp.
Where was it?
Over the coffee maker.
Okay.
You should think about getting an auto pen for you.
Things are in there.
We also found the crimper, the new crimper, and we found the old crimper. that had disappeared, making them.
They
plug in.
coffee machines?
No, they were both in Aaron's office
You actually crimp seals on very many things.
on the abstracts of results.
Ah, okay.
We had the old.
No, I had.
Yeah, we don't have this.
Okay. Need be. I can do the stamping. I guess I'm gonna be.
We should have someone in there answering the phone.
Yes, can I help you? Let's stop shopping. Okay. Anything else on the last minute instructions to the chief? We're gonna have our recommendations in by 10 a.m. tomorrow morning to everybody. Next is electoral board policy on EO appointments and assignments. Thought we had one.
We had discussed trying to understand why some people had been removed from the database of our officer of election system. And not knowing why those people had been removed, it seemed that it might be the right time to have the rules we expect to be followed for that written down.
Amen.
And so I have tried to capture what I have learned so far from this board as to what we do, what our practices have been, and that's what's encapsulated in this document to the best of my ability. And also what is not done, such as removing people from the list unless the board chose not to reappoint them, or we remove them as an officer of election, as the code requires. So that's what this is about. I did, I think since the last time I distributed directly to the board, add item 14, which basically says we can amend, suspend, revise, or delete the policy in whole or in part by a majority vote of the board, which is how you would create such a policy in the first place.
So, gonna give us some time to,
Well, that'd be why I mailed it out in advance. If you don't want to do it today, we don't have to do it today, but
I'm sorry, I did not see it.
okay. We'll carry that over perhaps for the next meeting,
I think so.
the
It's,
November 13th meeting.
yeah,
It does not have the urgency of the last minute instruction.
thank you. So we are going to carry this to the regular November 13th meeting. And anyone who wants to make any amendments,
Please send me any suggestions.
send them
Or
to
corrections.
everybody. Send them to everybody.
We may have a problem with that regular November 13th meeting. Because that is the Thursday of the week after the election. correct?
That's correct. it
I
is.
made this point when we reestablished that as a
Yep.
November 13th meeting, when I relisted it and then put it up again saying, we were already meeting all that week. Did we need to have a separate one? Well, the board said, yes, we do. So
We may need to have a cleanup meeting because primarily we may learn things during the election process and the election certification process that we actually want to talk about in a meeting.
if we find that it is going to be inconvenient to have that meeting, then we should know early in that week and we can cancel it
Yeah.
or postpone it.
We
I
can
want-
change it.
And under other items, change what our meeting schedules for canvas and provisional is going to
Hold-
look like.
Hold on.
I'll put
Okay.
that under other items.
Okay, next one is electoral board polling place list on election day. Jim,
Visits.
visits.
Where are we going to go? And
Jim,
That's, Lucky did it in June. I was happy to have him do it.
okay,
I suggest we do what we did in June.
sounds good.
Saying,
Same polling places that we're all going to go to at least once, and then any other
Wherever
polling
we
places we want to go to. And that, it's broken up by magisterial district.
yeah, I had Samuel Miller and Scott's.
I had Scottsville.
I went to,
Oh, I
I went to Scottsville and Porters,
I had Samuel Miller and Whitehall.
Just see if I can pull it right
but
up
could
here.
we indulge you to send that list out again today so everybody knows that you're sending it out to them?
I will send it out again, but since I'm pulling it up, I will tell you
Okay,
which magisterial districts you have. Route 1 is the Jack Jewett District and the Whitehall District. And
So Juliet and Whitehall.
You're kind of both that way.
trying to,
I know I had
Route 2
Anna
is,
Miller and Whitehall. That's-
no, I had Samuel Miller and Scottsville.
Too.
Route 2 is Rio and Ravenna.
I know I started there. Those places.
You know, there was a great discussion with having the new guy have to go out to Porter's and Scottsville and all the places down there.
So what do I have? I have Whitehall. You know, I have Whitehall.
And then what's Route 3?
If you've got Whitehall, Route 3 is Samuel Miller and Scottsville, which is me. Route 1 is Jack Jewett and Whitehall.
Yes, I've got Jack Jewett.
Route 2 is Rio and Ravenna.
Are the individual polling places, do they have within their information, who is their responsible EB member?
No.
Do not.
Because more than one EB member may show up that day.
Okay.
The major, we want to make sure everybody gets visited at least once. But we want to make sure that the far reaching, such as Free Union, Scottsville, Porters, or Yellow Mountain, don't get overlooked. Because if you go driving distance, when you go to Scottsville and Porters and Yellow Mountain, it takes a lot of time. Or you go to Keswick, getting to Keswick, you're at Louisa. It takes a lot of time to get there and get back. So if you're there, you can't be somewhere else.
So I had 11 on my fixed list and I think we're into 17. It was a good day of driving.
I had 270 some miles on my car.
And you think we should not use that sheet that form that we used the last few years? You decided that was more trouble than it was worth.
I didn't need it to get an expense reimbursement, so.
No, I'm talking about the one.
Oh,
Do you have all your
the answer to the question.
supplies? Did all your people show up?
Having gone through all the information that I had collected, it was just the notes I would have written down. I
Anyway.
don't need all those other questions
Exactly.
Okay.
unless someone disagrees.
I don't disagree at all. I agree completely.
You didn't fill yours out,
No,
But
I
I-
didn't throw them out. I still got them.
But I think, we should be taking notes
Yeah.
because we'll have useful
You can't
information at
remember
the end of the day. Exactly.
And I would strongly suggest that may not be the November 13th, maybe the December meeting, because we're probably getting fairly tired. But I think we have I think it should be done in closed session. I think we ought to sit down and go through all of our notes together. I mean, a formal sit down,
A lot of those comments will be personnel
right,
related.
why we should do it in closed session.
Yeah.
So let's put that on the agenda for the December meeting. Does that seem reasonable?
If not before, yeah.
I mean, I think we've got enough to say grace over.
Summer's out there. We will have had the hot wash by then.
Well, we may not.
We set a date for that
December
6
4th.
months ago.
We did, so we get the room.
December 4th.
So maybe we need to do it.
It would make sense to do that before.
It makes sense to do it.
So let's look at this later and see if we need to have another meeting.
I like the let's look at it later.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is going to go under the electoral board polling place visits. Schedule electoral board review time. Now that, I'm not gonna say that on tape. Are we taping?
We are recording now.
Okay, I'll be quiet.
I
I'll be quiet. Don't say anything.
changed the network I was connected to and it's become stable.
It's not a miracle.
I don't know why.
Okay, next item, support from No Inc. and ES&S on election.
This was raised
This
in
is Jim.
email as a question, so I put it on.
Yeah, I agree. Jim, this is your item.
Well, I don't know that's exactly my item. There was two different things. Let's do ES and S first.
Can we, wait a minute, I think Janelle needs to be here. Can we skip this one and come back to it?
Mhm.
Can we skip that and go to slaughter rec?
Sure, want to?
Okay. Slaughter rec.
Need to-
It is,
This one?
is a big place. Well, it's got my name next to it, so I'm gonna start. We have a new to being chief, not new to slaughter rec. And an assistant, two assistant chiefs. We have, and I don't have a final number. Oh, then let's go back to where you were. We'll go back to slaughter. Well,
Yeah. So the issue, two different issues here. Let's take ES and S first. We made plans long ago that Tyler Links would be here on election day.
who made plans and how long ago?
We did.
I'm just
Yeah.
asking.
Board and staff. We have always had a print elect representative here on election day. And at times it has been not very useful, and at times it has been very useful, particularly when we had to change out a whole motherboard of DS200 back then. I don't know the issue of signed contracts and all that, but we know what the charge is. The charge is big, but they're charging for 3 days. And Tyler said this is an ES and S thing as opposed to a print elect thing. That's what that exactly. Yeah.
So you talked to Tyler about that.
I talked to Tyler, yes. And I think he should be here.
I couldn't be happier to have Tyler with us, particularly on the first election, the first general election that we're using all new equipment.
We use these in the primary. I understand you said general
Which
election.
is a very different volume that will be processed
The
next week.
question is, and I think I think the registrars should weigh in on this. Tyler, the machines, the DS300s are in cages and delivered to the precincts on Monday. Nothing. The results are back in, assuming the tapes have come out, but that's an issue for election night. On election night, the chief will know if they can't get a tape out of the machine. Jim and I both remember the agony of that. So that's an election night. Wednesday, I don't know what an ES&S person would do on Wednesday. So I'm just, Madam Registrar, your comments are welcome.
Um,
Go
Begin,
ahead.
my understanding from what Jim said was that the half day before, the day of, and the half day after is their standard offering for this kind of service.
I asked, I said, I
So
really need you Wednesday. Can we,
they have nothing to do,
can we redo that?
not germane to what we're trying to buy.
Because no, I can't. That's the deal. All or nothing.
Well, that's, let's put a gun to your head, and say you're gonna pay for this.
Focus.
Let's let the registrar.
Debbie wants to say something about this too, and that's really where we are with it. It is an honor, knowing coming in that the only day that we
You're starting with
here
ES&S.
with the NSNS, the only day that we really need him here is, or somebody from the SNS, is Tuesday. But then we're forced to pay the other 2 days.
And the
And
fee
it's-
for that is,
Over $5,600.
1,675.
Yes, absolutely. And so we've asked them, can you give us a quote? We explained them and asked them, can you give us a quote, just including the day that we know that there could be well, maybe we'll be work for him. And the answer was no, it's all or nothing. And so we feel as though, why would we be pressured that way? Why would we allow the company to put us into that box? Because that's what's happening. And so we're really questioning that.
Well, I don't like it, but I think the importance of him being here on Tuesday overshadows the fact that we don't need him on Wednesday. Monday, he's somewhat helpful, when he's in. Yes, he is, excuse me, when he's in the warehouse and people are coming in, if people have a particular DS 300 question, he's there. So I said somewhat helpful.
I
But
don't know that
Tuesday
I've
we-
ever heard an officer, a chief, ask a DS 300 question that any of the board, election manager, registrar couldn't answer.
Could I also mention one other thing?
Maybe he has.
Is that they have a robust remote support system that we are paying for as well. So that is something that we can use as well. So if we have a question, even on Tuesday, why not use that service as well?
If it gives you any solace, it's not unusual if you need to retain the services of a technician to pay for their travel time. And since the election day is from before the sun rises until after the sun rises, the travel time would necessarily be on the next following proceeding. So that makes the half day Monday, the half day Wednesday have a context to make sense.
If that is travel time.
And you're paying for not an 8-hour day during the election day, you're paying for
Understand
a
that.
long day. I'm gonna be adamant. We can have all the discussion we want. My opinion on this is not going to change. I would like to have Tyler here for this election.
I would too.
I would like to offer a caveat that we have spare machines, which bears discussion also in this. Knock on wood. In the time that we had VS 200s and now 300s, I don't remember a major meltdown on a machine. Jim, correct me if you.
We did.
That we
had to
could-
go change out the head,
And-
take one of the spares.
and take one of the spares, but the point is, we've got a spare.
I will remind you
I'm just-
of the early part of early voting, where we suddenly had a machine that wouldn't scan.
And I would, hold on, I want to compliment you in 3 seconds. I would tell you that Tyler Links, and this really, we called Tyler Links and ES&S. Excuse me, and No Ink, because we didn't know whether it was the ballots, something wrong with ballots, or something wrong with the demand on request ballot printing, or whether it was the DS 300. Tyler was here on site and he never walked into the room. He never went in the in-person absentee.
What are you talking about? I was in
Here.
there with
I
him.
was here.
Well, he was in there quite a bit.
I was with him.
I
and
was there.
I understand.
So
And
why are you
Kelly,
saying he
and
wasn't
Kelly,
there?
and Kelly said, we went through this long hoorah, John. We were here till what, 8:30 that night? Going through and scanning ballots, and I mean, I learned a whole lot about ballots that I didn't know before that night, which was very valuable. And Kelly said, it's not the ballots. The ballots are fine. It's the DS 300. Open it up and clean it, and that's when we found the gel. And
I believe that was when Tyler was
no,
here.
no, it was not.
Well, I know when Tyler was here, I remember him holding up and noting the timing marks were matching up, right?
They-
He was down there working on it.
But the timing marks not matching didn't matter.
Well, I'm just
Because they've
getting
been-
back,
So
saying he wasn't in the room. That just.
I'm not disparaging Tyler. I'm just saying that might have been something that we could have called their tech support. Forward, it would behoove us to do what a lot of other localities, we don't have to make this decision. We can't make this decision now because we don't have time. But I think it would be wise for us to have somebody from our tech, Albemarle County, be drilled down on the care and feeding of the DS300.
Can I address that?
Please.
That's what I was going to say.
I'm sorry.
I do understand, that he's been here and somebody, I think it's all, I'm not sure if it's always been him, but I'm just gonna say that somebody
It's
from
not.
ESNS has been here.
Something.
I absolutely understand that. I understand the confidence of that. I understand the comfort of that. I really do. But what I was gonna say is, so if this year, let's say if we do stick with it, then I would say that years following, that we train people locally to handle these issues so that we have another comfort level and we don't have to be necessarily, I don't want to say forced, but we have options, that we have another option that's local. And then have ESNS train them or Prelec, whichever company does that. And we decide who that might be. So I would just say that that would maybe be a solution if we left it like it is this year. Then for years following, we give ourselves some options by training.
In other
Janelle, to clarify
localities that,
something for you, my relationship with Tyler goes back to like April of this year. I don't have, he's not my bosom buddy from forever.
I understand.
But I have a lot of experience with rolling out systems, and all systems go through a period that I call childhood diseases, where something happens the first time. You figure out how to solve that problem. You move on. Everyone knows how to do that. We have not really exercised the DS300s yet. Got some good experience by the people out in the field, but none of them out in the field ran more than a few hundred ballots through them on primary day. This will be much more of a challenge. I would love to have media expertise available. Since we don't have the time right now to put media expertise in-house, I prefer to pay for this to come from someone that seems to be an expert, at least in what I have seen in the past. Developing someone in-house who is the be-all, end-all, knows everything about the DS300. Brilliant idea. Need to do it. We're going to have these machines for a long time. We should be able to do most of the support ourselves. Just not this election.
That's what I just said. I agree with that.
I just want to clarify, I'm not in this camp because I'm old fishing buddies
I
with
got
the
you.
guy involved. That's
Thank you.
irrelevant.
Yes. And I would agree with that.
Right. In Harrisonburg, we had two people trained on our, we had the DS200. We had two people trained. They worked with ESNS when they came there, but they actually were on call through the whole election period. If we had an issue with a machine during early vote or anything, they knew the system. They also had the relationship with ESNS that they could talk back and forth. They have something they.
Were they otherwise city employees?
No, they were employees of the electoral board, that are registrar's office. They were paid that, and they did it year after year after year. And we always had them on call. We had two of them. Harrisonburg is small, obviously, but we had two of them available on election day. Somebody has an issue with, they don't know how to do this, whatever. We could deploy them all day long. And if the money saved on that was just, and in Waynesboro, they don't have one at all. They actually use that online support for anything, and it is excellent too. So I would say in the, obviously you make your decision for this election, but in the future, that is an expense that is really not going to be necessary.
and many, many, many other localities in Virginia do exactly what you just described. They have their own in-house, and
In-house, and it's
there could be a
it's
super
great
technician
because
who
they work,
lives.
even when they would come do our maintenance, our annual maintenance on them, our two guys would come, sit in on it, listen, they talk. So they had it. We had our own techs, and it was a very valuable.
Yeah, I think it's an excellent thing to develop.
Yes.
The other option that some localities do is the electoral boards carry the top, which is the operational of the DS300s or DS200s or whatever machine they use in their car. Each electoral board has one in the back of the car so that they can take it out and put it in. I'm not offering that as something we ought to do. I'm just saying it's something that other people, we've got backup machines. We always load backup machines that we can send out to any precinct. the same as a cap or in-person absentee.
Have we settled this? I think we have.
I think the same question applies to knowing. We really haven't discussed it very
Well,
much.
let's put the ES&S to bed. It's the pleasure of the board and the registrar's office that we voice our concerns about the charges. I mean, that's a lot of money. Or, I mean, I realize he's got to get here, be available at 5 o'clock in the morning until 8 o'clock at night. But he's whoever any of these people are, they're vendors. They're not sworn to do anything, but he can take care of the machines. So we keep the contract with voiced strong, why are you charging us so much? Because you're getting a demand. I've been in business also, and since I've been in business where I write the front of the check, I sign the front of the check, it's my money. I am acutely aware of vendors saying, well, this is your fee. And yeah, like, let's look at that contract again. And I know Jonell has done it many more times than I have. I think we need to let ES&S know that we think this is a lot of money.
What Janelle has said, it sounds as though we have already done that.
I did it to some extent, but when I was didn't say either way whether or not we were going to do this, but now that we decided to do it, I can just come back and just say just a little bit more. That yes, that we would like the in-person on-site support that they offer.
So with minutes, I say also we question the size of the charge. Yes.
No.
All right.
Okay.
No ink. So going back, we had a meeting with, I believe it was Corey, back in the summer.
We did.
I can't remember whether Lauren was still here or
No.
not. I think she was, but I'm not sure.
We had a second meeting with him.
Meeting we had, we went over a schedule with him. And that's where we determined we wanted him or somebody for 2 days of hands-on training. And then for the election, then for election day, I think we said back then. In discussions earlier this week, Debbie raised the question is, since June was the first time we used them, their normal contract gives you a free election day for the first time you use it. We didn't have either on the June primary, so you were gonna check on
I
that.
think that we should be offered that free startup at this election, because that is included in their contract. We don't have a copy of the contract, but I know from working in Waynesboro, the first time you use them, they offer you on site. Now, if they did not do it in June, to me, this should be our
Free.
We don't have a copy of our contract.
Not that
Getting it though.
Okay.
They might have it, but
there was not a copy on site. We can't swear to you that we didn't have a copy in one of the multiple laptops to which we do not have access.
I thought somebody was, after we had that conversation, I thought somebody was gonna call Coach. Say, do you have the contract?
that's me.
Okay, did you talk to her?
I sent her an email. Haven't had a response yet, so I'll check back.
So certainly if we're entitled to a free day, we should.
So take
You should
advantage
get
of it
that,
at this
yes.
time, just like you also are entitled to that street file that you have not been given yet either. And I would make sure that is
I agree
paid for
wholeheartedly.
that.
I have voiced the street file multiple times. And I've said with all of us in the room to Corey, we paid for it. And I would like to add that we know that No Ink did not give us the loading of the poll book pads because Taylor from the city of Charlottesville came over and built our election and loaded our poll books in June.
But I think someone from No Ink was here also.
They may have
Alex, you were in the room.
I wasn't around, but I know, I'm aware that nobody's knowing help with that.
Nobody?
Kelly,
So we're entitled this time, because in the future, again, knowing once you've done that, this process from there on out, Alex has become very passionate. And I know, again, working in Waynesboro, it's the same thing that he is doing now is what he's going to be doing. So I think that it would be great if you can have them give us their day this time. Alex can be right on board with that. And then in the future, again, they have a wonderful election day call in, and they'll be right there.
As far as for now, we still gonna go ahead and have somebody here Sunday to help with the election. It being Thursday and the election being Tuesday, we really need to get straight with them. Are you giving us a free day or not?
I'll do that today.
And if they say no, even though when we had that meeting and did the schedule, my memory serves me well sometimes. If my memory serves me well, we could have election days and we can days. Do you remember it that way?
I don't remember this discussion on election day. I know I remember the discussion of street files and building the election on election day
And hands-on training.
and hands-on training. The 2 days of hands-on training.
Okay, if we can get settled with them.
I'll do that right after this meeting. And then and then circle back, let everything.
Thank you.
Giving him instruction about exactly how to do it.
Yes, yeah, let me point out that in an email that I got from Kelly, along with this email came a boatload of how-to documents. And it shows you how to do everything that they are going to do on Sunday. And so, and they mentioned in their email that here's what we should do beforehand to make sure that we cut back on the work that needs to be done on Sunday. And they listed those. And then they offered, which I will take them up on, to book time with them to talk about our account and our contract and that sort of thing.
With looking at that list, you can build the election, but if you don't have the final data, you won't have the final data until Saturday.
Right,
Some difference.
saying that they give us the ideas to get ahead of.
Correct.
Sunday.
Right.
So that,
She's
you know,
saying
things
to do that
ourselves.
this weekend,
It'll save us time.
generally, like I know in a smaller locality, we push it out on Saturday.
All the poll pads have been set up so they're ready to start doing things like this. As soon as someone just turns them on.
Okay.
Where are we going to do this? Are we gonna do it in room A?
Warehouse. Gonna be done in the warehouse.
Because room A will be done by,
Yes, but all the poll pads and all the cases are in the warehouse and we'll have to distribute them to the chiefs from the
From the
warehouse. So
okay.
plus it's a secure space that they can be configured in right now, so.
And there's a lot more space back there that they've been done previously.
And you do want us here roughly at 9 a.m., is that correct?
On Sunday.
All right, so
That's what I'm asking. Is there anything else the board needs to know from the registrars and the election? You need to stay for. Anything else y'all want to discuss going in?
I need to talk.
Jim, you've got an agenda item.
I need to talk to you about a specific thing on enhance, but it doesn't need to be in this meeting.
The last item under new business is something that Janelle probably wants to hear about. I had which she'll definitely be involved in. I had a good discussion with, and if I may, Madam Chairman.
Please.
Is this the election office?
No, it's
Yes.
county.
Yes. I had a good meeting with Andrea and Andy Bowman from the finance department. We talked about various reports that are available that could be provided to the electoral board and how his team would be happy to assist with improving, developing, changing, or just making sure we get those reports out. But basically looking at a way for the electoral board to, at its monthly meetings, get a report on how our spend is against the budget, what our expenses have been, specific, line item expenses. So we have the opportunity to review where the money's going, which is not something we have historically been able to do. And Andy was talking about all these reports are available, and it's just a matter of having someone generate them. We can generate them, or someone from your team can. So it seemed like something that would land in your
I'll be glad to do that.
in your bailiwick. And suggested that it might be something that if we didn't follow up starting this November meeting, perhaps in December we would start doing that. So that was the thrust of the conversation. Once we get some reports and look at them, we decide we would like other information. We have some other questions. We'll feel our way forward from there. But just to make that, and I, as a part of this, I would propose we just amend our standard order of business to add financial report review or accounting report review or something like that as a standard line.
I have voiced the need for this on many occasions. In fact, at every meeting since I came home, and was categorically, unequivocally refused access to the budget or any part thereof. And we see how that didn't. So, and you ladies and gentlemen know we as this board can't even begin to know the hours that Janelle has spent. You've got a history in finance, you've got a history in business, and you jumped into that pile of gusto and have sorted out things, found bills that weren't paid, found bills that were paid that maybe shouldn't have been paid. And so it's turned over you.
It's been an eye opener for me to see patterns, and I'd love for you all to see that. And see exactly how things work. And like you said, where the money's going, maybe where we need to put move money around.
And what this heart, indicates for our future.
Absolutely.
We need to be
Absolutely. So.
Having served on both sides, 12 years as a board member and 12 years as a registrar, I can tell you that probably the most important thing that is done within the office is working together on knowing where your money needs to be, what you need to spend, seeing that clearly. And I think that is something that Janelle is going to be excellent with because she's been on the other side too. So that's, I think that will revolutionize your.
And it will be a complete breath of fresh air because we have never been allowed, despite multiple asks. We've been categorically refused access to the budget.
Absolutely will.
That's.
Can I touch on one other issue before we let them go? I have it under items, I guess. And that is our schedule post-election.
Yes. That's what you wanted to add for other items. Yeah.
Start at noon on Wednesday. And start by going through all the provisional ballots, counting them up, using code, etc. And we can't do anything with them unless they're eyeballs, but we usually don't. Then, depending on how much time is left, and I did until we find out how many provisionals we have, then we go into the canvas. And traditionally, we have taken off Thursday, not done Thursday, partly to give the staff a chance to have a rest from us, and partly for us to have a rest since we're all old users.
Speak for yourself. I'm not taking on Geezer, and I'm sure Bucky's not taking on Geezer.
I think you're
Some
older.
days more than others.
And then we work Friday, usually finishing the canvas as much as we can finish. Of course, we can't finish the canvas because we don't have the post-election. The post-election, they usually do, the CAP usually does that at 1 p.m. on Friday. Post-election absentee ballots. And then we can add that in. Then normally we would meet again Monday. Now that elect has, I've heard two things. One, they're not going to flip the switch until Monday. Now I hear they're not going to flip the switch until Monday night. Have you heard that? Because if that's true, we basically don't have anything we can do on Monday.
I disagree. All the reason for provisionals can be assessed on Monday because we will have gotten all the absentee ballots back by then.
Well, we could adjudicate the reason for if we
Yeah.
wanted to.
There will be hundreds to go through.
But remember, part of what is being done by elect is the culmination and the cross matching of all of the absentee ballots across the state. So that if somebody, and provisional ballots, yes,
Same-day registrations.
They don't do absentee, they do same day.
not absentee, the provisional ballots. So if somebody votes a provisional ballot in Chesterfield on October the 15th, we don't know about that until after Veris cross matches all the time. That's why on the provisional ballot envelope, there's a time and date that ballot, that provisional ballot is marked.
That's for same-day registrations only.
Understand that?
I am unaware that elect ever does any cross matching of reason for.
Yeah.
I don't think they do.
If they-
We are the ones who have the data on that by Friday at noon.
Well,
have to
we
get it
don't
in the
have,
system,
we
but-
don't have it Friday at noon
Yeah,
because,
But that's
because
when the
we
last
have-
absentee ballot can be
but we don't
returned.
have that, we don't have that data
Put it in the system, but then by Monday,
by Monday.
we can begin the review of the reason for provisionals.
I think we could if we wanted to.
I think we're going to have a lot of provisionals, and I recall last year, this team was right up against it to
Yep.
get our results in. I don't think we should squander any moment that is a reasonable time to move forward.
Either of the registrars have any comments? Debbie, you've been through this.
I know, but I've never been through the volume
Mm-hmm.
you have, so I can't, to me, if you ran up against the deadline before, I would not take a day off in the middle of it. I agree, just because I think
We don't know what's coming.
you don't know what's coming. We don't know. And
I'm fine with adjudicating reason fors on that Monday or
If we have a total of, 400 provisional same-day registrations and reason fors, on Thursday evening, I'll vote to, let's just not come back on Monday. But I don't think that's going to be the case.
I
We're
don't
going to
think so
have
either.
well more than 1,000, maybe more than
Well,
2,000.
that was my question. I'm fine with coming back Monday. I just didn't want to, if we had nothing to do,
No, nobody wants to waste time, but I think we could get to work on those.
you might want to find out whether this Monday night thing is,
yeah, I haven't seen anything in the email.
There's still-
The last I heard was Monday.
they're still telling you all you got to finish by Friday at 5. Is
They
that
are,
right?
but then they changed that to Monday, but they don't give us a time.
That you don't have to be finished until, is that what you're saying?
That's what they're saying.
But that's not what we're aiming for.
We're aiming for Friday.
Exactly.
Well, now I understand why I hear this Monday night.
Where are you hearing Monday night?
I heard that from Jim Nix, I think it was.
I haven't seen anything.
I haven't seen anything.
But I can see if they're giving you until Monday morning, then I can see why
That scares me.
that
They are.
Paul,
but
they gave you
I can
extra
tell you,
time because
we
they need to
are
be so
right.
big.
I would say that we are all dealing with the unknown. We're not sure when the deadlines are for your data to go in. We're not sure of the deadline of when you're going to get data back. I think that we all need to keep board members. Need to keep Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Monday, and Tuesday unencumbered. And we can change our dates and our schedules as needed.
Well, I would say that since we have traditionally taken the Thursday off, that we still leave that as an option if we decide we can't do it because we have too much stuff on. But I would say let us aspire to taking Thursday off.
Once we've done all of the canvassing we can, I'm right there with you. No point standing around doing nothing.
And we hope that everything will be in its little place and its little envelope and everything will run smooth. We'll get through, but I think we won't know that until we get through Wednesday.
Okay.
So I don't-
November, the holiday.
The 11th is Veterans Day. It's a
11th
federal
is
holiday.
A federal holiday.
So
No,
it's a
that's not
state
Monday.
holiday.
No, that's Tuesday. That's Tuesday, Monday.
Tuesday.
It's not a county holiday then.
It is.
It is.
I thought they got
It
rid of
is.
it and put something else in its place.
Unfortunately, none of us get holiday pay, so
You don't?
it's irrelevant.
Well, if you did, you should be getting it for election day, because that is also a holiday.
And I will tell you that there are a lot of registrar's offices that have taken and don't work on Veterans Day, whether it's Friday or Tuesday or Monday or whenever it is.
If we had nothing to do, I would support that.
I think that's gonna happen.
Big if.
Can I mention one other thing on a different topic? Debbie and I, we had a meeting with Elect about the enhanced reporting, that would be enhanced reporting, but that started with a meeting about Scottsville and about the shared area with
Fluvanna.
Fluvanna. Thank you so much. And so I felt very comfortable. They gave us a very detailed list about what to do, what Fluvanna should do, and then what we need to do as the controlling. And so we feel really comfortable about reporting that. And then what Elect is going to do to report it as well. So then the other thing is after that, we finished early for that, then we went into the reporting. And then I forgot the gentleman's name, but the lead on the call. I can't remember.
Conway,
Something like that. And he walked us through the reporting. And so I feel very comfortable with it. He showed us exactly what we need to do, the cumulative totals that we need to do. He showed us the detailed, which is the precinct reporting that we need to do. He actually did it. We did a couple of samples on there. So I feel very, very comfortable with that too. Just wanted to let you know that we're good about it. We've been in there. I'm going to get in there several times more before Tuesday and run a test election, and then also double check to make sure the spellings, all of our things are correct. So just wanted to let you know that's in the works as well. And we're going to do a dry run.
And as far as that election night reporting, we're both very comfortable with what comes from the polling place to the person who answers the phone with the
Yes.
that Alex has. All the information that we need to report is on that form. So if that form is handed directly to us, that's
Well,
one less step of a mistake on numbers.
handed directly to me for the eyeball.
Okay. But and then it comes directly to, you said 30 seconds, basically. So
Yeah.
what we're talking about is that getting that to us and us getting it on there gets it on to the computer and our numbers up there as fast as possible. Then once we have agreed that, once we have it in there and everything is correct, then that piece of paper, copy of that piece of paper can be taken out and taped out on. So usually do it, but we want to verify everything before anything gets posted.
because as a previous director of
Verify.
news services,
Make sure, not verify, make sure everything is into the
Okay.
computer.
Well,
Exactly.
by precinct.
By precinct.
So once, let's say Woodbrook precinct comes in,
Mhm.
once you've got Woodbrook precinct
You have
and
everything listed.
enhance, then it can go out.
Yes.
I'm not gonna wait until all 30
No,
precincts.
no, you can
no.
take them as,
All right.
get them, but we want to make sure that we have everything we need off that one and verify everything before it gets taken out. So that there's not a chance of a number being wrong getting posted before we are actually able to check all that.
And if I understood you correctly, they jigged the system, so now they just want a total provisional. They don't
Total
want them
provisional,
broken
yes.
down.
Yeah, we don't have to
So
break
we
it
don't
down.
have to ask.
Wait, no,
Oh,
no.
only on the dashboard.
Only on
When
the,
you go into the detail, you do have to
Okay.
break
report.
it down. Yeah, on the dash, but what
The
they're
original-
asking us is to make sure that on election
The
night, we
numbers.
only do the dashboard and the and the precincts. So, and then come back and then do the provisional.
that's it, put in later.
Exactly.
So
That's what
the
they're asking us
next
to do.
day, I guess we do the rest of it, because they're only asking for the column of the election night on that night.
Exactly, which is the precinct.
which is nice, because I know in the old system, we had to have everything on there.
So
And to Jim's point, oh, sorry.
go ahead.
To Jim's point, we, as we get the information and we put it, put it in electronically, we can update it and then it's immediately available to the public. So we're up, along with posting on the wall, we're also updating so the public can see as we go along.
Electronic.
On the left site, which crashes inevitably on election night.
We'll do our part. We'll do our part.
Wah, wah. And I would not be surprised if Enhanced crashes election night because
Is enhanced
Clockwork.
a wholly separate system?
It looks like it. I don't know.
It is, we used to report everything in Veris, so we had an election night report, and
And then
everything
they
was.
added a couple of years ago, this
It's
enhanced reporting.
enhanced, and it is actually a separate system, there was
It's a
separate,
third party too.
it's a third party.
It is.
and so.
Maybe it'll continue in the future.
Just real quickly, you say the dashboard. That's what you're doing election night. And then, am I correct?
We're doing that, but we're also doing the detailed, the precincts as well.
Precinct, election day precinct.
Yes, absolutely.
Just election day.
Absolutely.
I do have to get with you on that, on the point about that.
Go ahead now. She's here. Let's do it.
Well, I have to see Enhanced. What I'm trying to figure out is what you have to report on the dashboard and Enhance on CAP. And whether you report CAP totals. I don't think they expect you on election night to report all the CAP by.
It's just the
individual.
total.
It's just the total. The dashboard is only totals.
But is it, do they separate?
By precinct.
By precinct.
No, that's not my question.
No.
Do they separate CAP early in person from CAP mail?
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
But
They're
those are the
separate
only two
columns.
figures.
Yes, on the
Yes.
dashboard.
That's gonna affect how we do the
What are you doing?
tweaking the spreadsheet that we're going to use, that we use when we do the canvas. He's been producing that spreadsheet.
Hey, I don't know anything about that. I don't know anything about it. I
It's
don't know what
not done.
spreadsheets. Okay.
We're just tweaking, but that's what I needed to know because.
So y'all, the two of you are working on a spreadsheet canvas.
I've
Is that
been
right?
working on this spreadsheet since July. Because the essential problem with the previous spreadsheet was that you were reading numbers down a DS300 tape and matching them across the spreadsheet. It's not how the human brain works. So
Understand.
this spreadsheet goes down by precinct, so the numbers will line up exactly with what's on the DS300, and we should be able to see easily what we need to see.
I would have been appreciative about that. You working.
We had actually sent out some information on this earlier and we discussed it previously. And I was iterating with Lauren what I was producing in the beginning part of August. But that effort fell to the wayside for about a month and a half while we've been doing other things. And I picked it up again recently. And I'm happy to give you anything I have.
That'd be great. Thank you.
One more point for Jim, you asked it. I can print out, let me do a bit of a test today and put some numbers in there. And I can print out the dashboard for you from the enhanced system, so you can see it.
Exactly.
in big
what
paper,
everybody-
see exactly what it looks like, and I can give it to all of you. So you can all see exactly what that dashboard looks like, and then I'll do one for a precinct, so you can see what the precinct is gonna look like. And it's what you described, it's vertical. So, and before we go, I said that I was gonna give you your election day packets. And then we have all the sheets in here that you and Alex have put together. So this one, everybody who's gonna, oh, is there another?
Well,
Is
Alex. about
that's the
this.
latest one. Is there
No,
a
I've talked
change?
with Alex about this because we don't have a cap.
I have one.
We do.
It's not printed though.
What are you asking for, Jim? I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
Well, these are the phone sheets. They don't look like the old phone sheets because Alex redid them. But
Here you go.
the phone, one phone sheet for each precinct.
Thank you. This is,
But we don't have the phone sheet yet for CAP, which is going to be a multi-page, and I think, because you're going to get all the offices on there.
Also one for early voting too, so.
Okay,
I'm
Great.
still not clear on what phone sheet you need for CAP. I don't understand. I don't understand what you're saying.
well, we get the phone sheets, they call in, but we did the same.
Okay. Call in of results.
And the results from CAP,
Well,
we don't need
you're not gonna
all of that stuff. What we need is the
get. You got a
totals for
statement
the
of results. You
candidate.
got a printed statement of results from CAP. That's what you've always
But
got.
we've always used a modified phone sheet for CAP. And he's been working on it, he just said.
So as you go through those, if there's anything you think that we should add, feel free, because it's still a little bit of work in progress. And regarding the other thing is I put together just a list of links. There's only like four. There's only about 4 or 5 links, and one of them is to the elect website where you can type in the address so that people on the desk, we're gonna do a little more training and just have people bookmark those. Bookmark particular so they can just go immediately to it. And that's the first one that we're gonna bookmark. So just to let you know that all of that we're gonna be set up on paper, but also people will be set up computer electronically to quickly get information.
I do have a question, and we kind of discussed this the other day. The provisional, we got here on the phone sheets, provisional by reason code. And we sort of said, we don't need that because you don't need to. All you
Well,
need
no,
is the two.
we need that
You need
information,
it ultimately, yeah,
but we will not be
Yeah.
asking for that information.
on the phone.
No,
Okay, so we're just,
But we
You are
want
just
to
asking
fill out that
for-
information, yes, but they're right there, it's, we want to know the outside poll number and we want to know the reasons on there, because we want them to look at it, it's another double check, because then when we get the logs, we can see.
but said we don't want the phoners to ask for the reasons.
No, I don't think we do need them, do you?
I don't think.
Okay, yeah, no.
Because
we-
better numbers are what we produce because
Yeah,
they
okay.
always
Okay, then.
throw something in
Total
sticks.
Then is the total.
Total number of provisional ballots.
But actually, are you?
They won't have
in-
envelope
in-
1A out,
is there?
total number of provisional ballots is on the statement of results.
Yes, it
There's
is.
still anything else that you need.
1A is where they
And I
would
would
have
just
the
leave it
breakdown.
on there, just tell
Reason
them
code
that
is
all
on-
we need is the total.
We'll see that in the canvas. And someone, y'all have mentioned that you're gonna have someone copying provisional ballot logs
Yes,
Wednesday morning.
Yes,
absolutely.
you all make sure you get those for us downstairs.
Yeah, as you're collecting them.
Now, because the calls, by definition, the call in from the chiefs have to come before they leave the polling place. So there's a lag time between when they call in and when they appear downstairs. Jim, do you think you'd be able to come down and help us after you? Because the call ins now are going to go. What is your pleasure? Call in comes from whoever takes the phone call. They fill out this form and it goes to one of you. Does Jim even need to see them?
I want to see
I'm
them
just,
because there's
Does-
always one that has done something way wrong and I want to get to that person before they get out of the building.
And all their signatures leave.
So that's,
So you,
as long as it's as quickly as.
Yeah.
Alex is voicing a question.
As the elections manager with my concern, we don't have enough people down there
Exactly.
on Tuesday night. So, our jobs are gonna be very stretched thin. So,
As soon as those numbers
Those
are called in.
numbers.
Jim can come down
yeah,
and help
and
you.
I appreciate that if you can, Jim, 'cause
I'll do that.
our numbers are very.
Also, I
slim.
think that Peyton had said she could help down there if necessary, she's been recruited to come in and help answer the phones, because two of our good phone answerers are both election chiefs.
election.
So we, that night, in order to have the phones manned, we do have it, it's coming in. We will have Brooklyn, Brenda, Christina, Janelle, and myself.
That would be great. If you can send Peyton down there, that would be good.
She has volunteered to help with anything that day. She said she doesn't have anything else, so she's basically at your disposal of helping wherever she can.
I think if we, and I'm happy to get together, Bucky, the three of us can get together and actually go down to a warehouse. So we know where, everybody knows where everything's going. It can be much better organized. I've been down there, Bucky was down there.
The calls will be.
June. I've been down there for years, I mean, for as long as we've been thinking. And it can be streamlined.
Yeah, definitely. And then we have Sherry, Ann, and Peyton's gonna help on Monday. I've already reached out a lot of chiefs. I'm missing about 8. I gotta figure out who I'm missing to reach out to figure out their times, but a lot of them are coming for the first part of the morning. So,
I'm sorry, coming for the first part of the morning.
oh, picking up their stuff. Sorry.
Afternoon. Thank you.
Sorry.
Now we're on the same page.
Do you have something that's posted down here? Because Monday before the election, there are hundreds of people who show up on Monday to vote. Is there
Yep.
going to be something down here?
Big
to
sign.
Let them know.
A big paper. Alex is enamored of the large paper.
Large paper.
The way to go. It's the way to
We
go.
put a sign up in front of the door and they move it and come in.
Oh, my goodness.
They're so insistent that they are
I would submit that you need
several.
a big sign, and I've got poster paper that I've kept from other
Early
uses.
voting ended Saturday.
And it goes on that door, and it goes on the front door of the building, as well as the,
Speaking of signs, let's not forget, we gotta put a sign up at the Hillsdale Conference Center saying there's nobody here.
Oh, crap. Yeah, you can do it for another election.
because this is the first general election. So
Oh, interesting.
we moved.
We had 2 signs for that. I took them out last year and brought them back.
Lucky I can do that. I know where they are.
You know where they are?
I got that responsibility.
I can put them out Monday night,
You just have to let them know.
Tuesday evening.
You just have to let them know.
You can let them know or not. I mean, it's required by law, so they don't really get a say so in this. It would be polite to let them know since they booted us out of there.
They're supposed to be a civic minded organization.
Okay.
Thank you for this. This is a good meeting.
Thank you very much.
There's a lot of dots from it.
Thank you.
I have your new templates.
Oh, thank you.
You said that's slaughter.
No, still got slaughtered.
Retired.
Alex is-
Retired. I want
Friend of.
No,
Mine
forever
is
on
being
call.
retired.
That's what it becomes. Forever on call. That's what it is. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Janelle.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Okay, next item on the agenda, we've clicked off everything on the new office except a business except Slaughter Rec. Alex, do you have any comments on this? That should not be done. It should be taken to closed session. Take it to closed session. That's what I thought.
What would be the nature of closed session comment?
Personnel,
Our personnel?
officers of election. I think that's. You have questions that are not.
Andrea, am I hearing you?
Yes, you are. What are you taking to closed session?
We're talking personnel and officer of elections for a polling place.
Okay,
That's going into closed session. Is that your question?
yes, that's fine.
Okay.
I thought you said something else.
No, ma'am. My next part of the question was, is there something that does not involve, and I think there is, does not involve officers of election for Slaughter Rec? Okay, my question, and Bucky, maybe, I think it's my question.
You asked for this to be on the agenda.
I did. The University of Virginia has had a precinct since it used to be at University Hall. They tore down University Hall, we moved it to Slaughter Rec. This is a convenience to the university. they've asked us to have a polling place on grounds primarily for their students. We have accommodated that. We have talked to them every election. I personally met with the director of facilities for Slaughter Rec last year when we were talking about making sure that the two rooms that are side by side, the dividers could be opened up so it's one big happy room. And that there would be, I don't remember. I remember what he looks like. He told me that he was,
Jeremy. Jeremy's the one.
I don't remember. He's the man who said he was in charge of Slaughter Rec. And we explained at that time that we needed to get in there on Monday to set up, obviously all day Tuesday. And it was a very pleasant, cordial, I mean, everybody seemed happy at the end of that meeting. And we were standing in Slaughter Rec. And now this year, sort of at the 11th hour, they say, oh no, there's a dance class for 100 students or something going on Monday. And their word in the email is, it would inconvenience 100 students if we let you in there on Monday. What? I mean, we are
But
serving the
further to
university.
say that it would be an impact on Tuesday for over 100 students. For you to have a community event.
Right.
What great wording. Community event.
I mean,
It's called voting.
and it's their students who are voting. That's the reason there is a polling place on the grounds of the University of Virginia.
So
I mean, and apparently they did not understand that maybe they should have let us know that we're not going to be able to be in there on Monday after I had a person-to-person, eyeball-to-eyeball shaking of hands that we would be allowed in there on Monday. And apparently they didn't.
well, the only thing I think that we can do now, Mike has the name of Jeremy's boss. And after,
May I have Jeremy's boss's name?
I don't have it,
Okay.
but I can get it. And sometime after the election, we set up a meeting with Jeremy's boss and say, well, this can't be.
May I suggest a little bit, a nuanced approach to that? I think we should send a letter
Yes, I do.
detailing our concern
Yes.
that includes the facilities guy, the boss of the facilities guy, and the dean of students.
I agree.
And explain that if we don't have a facility we can use for elections, which includes being able to set up for the election, then we'll need to find someplace else.
Exactly.
And please let us know. And if you'd like to talk about our concerns, we'd be happy to do that.
Absolutely.
Because we need to get going on getting a new polling place set up if we're going to have to move.
We're not going through this again. And what is Jeremy's last name? And what is his title?
It's on somebody's computer because
I thought you had been talking to Mike Merritt. Okay.
well, can you find where I forwarded it to you? I don't have my computer with me.
Is Jeremy,
I want to say Spencer, but that's not.
do you,
And he is,
his title?
he is
Start Outlook.
director of,
Look for it.
director of recreation, I believe. His title is right on there.
I
And I
remember,
will mention that before we went to Slaughter, when we were looking for a new place, we came this close to having a really good place, which is Zamer Hall.
I don't know what that is.
It's just off of Alderman.
What's its
Yeah.
regular, what does it do when it's not a polling?
It's a continuing education.
There's continuing
place,
ed.
mainly.
Does it have a big conference room with a flat surface?
Everything was really good.
Okay.
You've never been in there? It's
I
up.
don't know whether I have or
You
not.
know
I
where-
don't.
You know where St. Thomas is,
I do.
Alderman. It's just up from there. And at the last minute, someone said, oh, sorry, you can't do it because this is the Emergency Operations Center when there is a reason to have an emergency operation, like a riot or whatever.
Okay, well,
It's like, well, I know that they have moved that Emergency Operations Center at least a couple of times. So evidently it is not now an emergency operations. So it's something to think about, because otherwise it's a little more inconvenience for the students, but not that much.
is Jeremy the person with whom Mike Merriman has,
Normally dealt.
okay,
I'm not finding anything from you that has the word Jeremy in it,
there's,
but I don't propose to take more time now.
yeah, I agree. Okay, I can offer intercession. I can wear my pearls and white gloves. Jim remembers the reference when the Miller Center was going to throw us out. And I went down and talked to former Governor Wiles, who was in charge of the Miller Center, and reminded them of their civic obligation. Very kindly over tea or coffee. It was lovely. And we're still at Miller Center. So I'm happy to follow up with this. Clearly,
Zebra Hall would be advantageous.
yeah, I know where it is now. Explained where it is, Bill, Jim. It's right down from church.
Okay,
Okay. We are now down to other items, and that would be the scheduling. Somebody wanted to reschedule our monthly meetings other than Thursday at 9 o'clock. Got change monthly. I've got change meeting schedule. Or was that the Friday, the week
well,
after
that's this question,
elections?
are we gonna still be working to certify the election Thursday, November?
Exactly. And we may very, we don't know. We can't answer that
We
question.
can't.
We can cancel. We've got a regularly scheduled on the books posted for the 14th. Is that right? Thursday, 13th.
Yeah, whatever the Thursday.
Whatever the Thursday after the
I
election.
think it's 13.
It's a scheduled meeting. So if we need it, we'll use it. If we don't, we'll cancel it.
So
Is there
we're going into executive
And
session.
before you hop up, let me say, is there anything else that anybody wants to bring in open session? Okay, we are going to take a 5-minute, Jim, is that right?
Okay.
Adjournment, and then we'll come back into closed session. You'll announce our closed session when you come back.
Okay.
Okay.
Everybody on the call who's not anybody left, so I'll pause the recording.
It is now, that's not right, excuse me.
I have 11.
I've got 11:13. The electoral board is going into closed session. We are going to discuss officer of election matters, personnel matters. The people in the room will be the election manager and the 3 members of the electoral board. This is all pursuant to code section 2.2-3700, section A. We are now officially in closed session. Okay. We're in closed session. Now has the electoral board at 11:30 has come out of its closed session. It is now back in open session. Same section of the code applies, 2.2-3700, section A. The members of the board certify that they have only discussed those matters which they said they would discuss, and only those people who were deemed to be in the meeting were in the closed session, and we are now back in open session.
My question was,
Well, you want to first move the officers that we appointed?
no, I move we appoint Kristen Alamilla and Kishore Pandagade.
Second,
Officers election for,
on your turn. All in favor, aye. Unanimous. Thank you, Alex. Now, Jim.
The QR code, giving everybody 5 of those, and where are we giving them?
They're placed in the green envelope, and I guess on Monday, we'll instruct the chiefs to place them.
Add them to last minute instructions? Ooh, I didn't even see we had a second page.
We're gonna, okay, just to reiterate, we're all gonna take this 2-sided document that Bucky's prepared. We're gonna work on it today and tonight, and we're gonna have any addenda, changes, suggestions back to all three of us by 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. So if we need to reword it before Alex prints it to put in the bright green folders that are getting thicker by the minute.
The last minute instructions go
Yeah.
in the election day binder.
Yeah, well,
We actually usually have them out there on the table and we hand them to them.
Yes, then the chief stucks in the election day binder because they have no other way to carry it out of the room.
Should we add something about your QR codes?
If you want to.
And
they will be, is there room in the
Just
green
remind them.
folders for the QR? Alex,
It's already in there.
thank you.
I just want to make sure on Monday, so I'm probably jumping ahead. You do oaths. I forget what you did on Monday.
I do oath and binder,
Okay.
and I have done last minute instructions, but I think you maybe did it once.
I've been doing last minute instructions
Yeah.
and,
And are,
and keys if they have keys.
Yes, I have that for you.
Thank you.
and then are we passing out a
It
separate
was-
poll pad and DS 300 instructions?
We did it in June because they were brand spanking new.
But these instructions should be in the
Yeah.
green folder for the setup and the takedown.
They've already got them. Their
Okay.
chiefs
So
all
we're not-
got them,
We're not going to pass it out separately.
and we handed them out at every training, almost every training session. If anybody didn't already have one, take one. Both the
Well,
what
I'm
if,
curious, they're available online.
the what ifs, as well as the no ink instructions.
I'll have some copies down there just in case. They go.
Yeah.
And then we'll have those.
Bucky, you be over there with everything else. Everything,
I'm the man in the middle.
the man in the middle that's left.
I have the
Oh,
codes.
password.
Yep, I already have that done. I can get those out if you want me to. I have the one for DS 300. Just go ahead.
I'd like to give them that separate because you've got a whole bunch of stuff to give them. And we don't want the password to get,
Oh, it would be like towards the end.
I know.
Are you sticking with Pink Panther?
No, it's gonna be override capital O1 for them if they have to do anything on them. But then the DS 300 is one.
Override one,
Yeah.
uppercase O,
Yeah.
2 R's, the number one.
Correct. And then the DS 300 and Express Vote is the November.
Mouth bang 2025 gov,
Can we say it again? Because I'm,
capital NOV.
Yep.
Capital N, capital O, capital V,
oh, all are uppercase.
all are uppercase.
That's different. Okay, go ahead.
Exclamation point. 2025.
Yep.
Lowercase GOV.
Okay.
And I have Ann, Peyton, and Sherry going to meet me at 11 o'clock. We have a whole nice group coming in first thing in the morning, afternoon, sorry. So all they're taking is poll pads, the blue bag, and their signs. And then on the way home on Tuesday, they'll bring those three and their ballots. So that's the load. And then I'll figure out a time to do it.
In their manuals,
And
Yeah.
then
They can keep them. Okay,
if they want, I'm just saying,
think, yeah,
if
that
they,
makes
if they
sense.
choose to bring them back,
that's fine.
they come back.
That's fine.
And I would
Everything else comes back.
suggest Sunday. Let's put up the signs, in the parking places outside the warehouse, the election officer parking only. So we don't get fire people parking in there before the election
Do you know
officials.
what's going on in the main lot that's inside the, we've got off Stagecoach Road with one entrance to get into the place where we go in, and then there's another entrance to get back to where the police are.
That-
That lot was blocked off the other day and they moved most of the cars out of it, which meant there were fire folks and other folks parked all over God's green earth because they couldn't get in there.
I didn't hear
I
anything.
was wondering if you knew if that was going to be still going on next week.
I hope not, but I know somebody I can contact.
Okay.
I've already done that.
Oh, yeah.
And what's the answer?
The answer is, I don't care what was going on. We don't have any jurisdiction beyond that, at that second gate.
I understand, but
okay,
they
so-
park in our spaces.
I understand. And I talked to them about specifically election night, because in the past, you may remember because you were chief bringing stuff back. It was raining and the gate was locked. The front gate, the gate is inoperable.
Oh, that's
It's,
good
it's
news.
down for repairs. So we don't have to worry about it being locked. I can't
Because
even.
I remember in June, we had a kid use my badge.
Yeah, no, believe me. So we don't have any problems with that. And I explained why I was asking the question about having it open and nobody there for pickup and delivery. So afternoon and return.
We
Monday,
still don't have
Monday,
an
and
idea of what they were doing inside, but of course, all those cars.
I-
don't
it's-
matter.
it's not my business. They can be having, I don't know.
Understand, I find that
Yep.
police cars and fire vehicles, when so marked, usually feel that signs don't apply to them and they just park wherever the hell they please. Perhaps with good reason, but
So
sometimes
that,
not.
I'm not gonna argue with.
Adjourn?
No, I have one more item which I forgot to put on the agenda.
Didn't you have something else you wanted to bring? Oh, I'm sorry.
I have one more item that I forgot to put on the agenda. I'm sorry. Andrea, at our last meeting, we discussed a meeting with the security system, security planning. We had several emails back and forth. How many of us could be there? And Andrea said, no, we can't be there. And we discussed having it at the beginning or the end of the meeting. And since we didn't know how long our meetings were going to be, and this involved a lot of people, we all agreed that I would be the designated representative for the board and bring back over.
Okay,
You remember, we did that. So I'm bringing back, I just forgot to put it on there. We met, there were 7 or 8 people there. Both of the registrars, the police were there. Somebody from the sheriff's office was in contact, but not in the room. Another gentleman from the police department, the woman who is in charge of the fire and safety, the head of fire and safety, and Bill Struthers, the facilities manager. And the police have a plan that they worked out, that they will have security officers, police officers patrolling, obviously not coming into the polling places,
they
but
need to vote.
unless they need to vote. But they will be patrolling. They will be less than 5 minutes away from they have a map with precincts marked on it clearly. And we have a 5-minute response time. So we have a rapid response. The instructions, we may want to put this in the last minute. Again, one more thing. That we didn't say anything about security in our officer of election or chief training this year. I guess we all just forgot about it. That we remind the officers that they can call 911 and it will go straight to whoever the officer is that's close by.
So the reminder would actually be your 911 call will go to the ECC. The
Yeah.
ECC will know the closest officer to you.
Correct.
You should have a response in 5 minutes or less.
Correct.
Is this proper to put in the minutes?
I think noticing that we have a security plan.
I added the minutes that you had the meeting with security personnel. I've added police will have a
You don't have
5-minute
to-
response time, but I'm not.
You don't have to
sure
put the
that-
details in it.
Okay.
Okay. Everybody okay? Like,
Move
you
we
okay with
adjourn.
that? You have consternation?
Second his motion.
All those in favor, meeting is adjourned at, what is that,
11:40.
11:40.